Hey everyone, welcome to this season's first show. It's not a week one show, it's kind of like a episode zero, I guess, for this season. Just a kind of like a roster review before all hell breaks loose this year. I'm expecting a fun competitive year. With me, as always, I have Corey here.
Hello.
In case you don't know who he is, GM of Saucier Pass.
Saucier Pass, exactly.
You didn't change it, did you? Did you change it
No,
back?
I went back. I went back to it. Yeah.
Okay. A lot of new names, not a lot of new GMs, but a lot of new names. Speaking of new GMs, I guess let's welcome Casey to the league. New GM.
Yeah, welcome Casey. Already more active than Tyler was.
I think it's already been an improvement.
Yeah, 2 trades. Oh, you're already there.
At least he's answering messages. Pretty big trade too. That'll probably be the first one we talk about. But
yeah.
Also, I guess congratulations one more time goes to Mark for being our current champion. He'd want to see his name on the trophy.
Oh,
right beside Le Champion. But this is what it's all about, guys. It's all about this trophy and not the one that Braden has. This is what we want.
Got to show some love to the first 4 winners now.
Oh, you see the names. You see the names. They know who they are.
Shane doesn't like to share that trophy too much.
The only reason it's here is because Mark, he lives out of town and he didn't want to come get it. So. No, but again, congrats, Mark. It was well earned. It's never easy winning in this league. 6 people can vouch for that. 10 plus all those who left the league.
Fair. 10 originals. Is that what we're at? 10?
Oh, I don't know how many originals we have left. That'd be interesting to kind of calculate. We got what? Me, you, Neil, Nick, Kyle, Braden was an original. Derek was an original. 9. Daltrey was a replacement.
Dan was a replacement.
Travis was a replacement.
Casey.
Mark.
Daltrey Senior,
yeah.
So 10 originals?
9 original.
9?
Yeah. Jeez. That's a lot of churn. But the league is at a place where I feel we have a good group, right? Everyone's fairly active. We got rid of the biggest issue last year, and like we said, Casey's already paying dividends. So
yeah, Derek, don't fall off. I know football season's starting.
That's it. Don't forget about us, Derek.
Not like he's gonna listen, but
he pays attention at weird times. Sometimes he'll start off the season really into it. He'll vanish for a bit, reappear when it's time to start selling.
Yeah.
Or make a playoff push.
Or exactly. Or buy-in.
No, so we don't have a lot in store here tonight, guys. We just want to kind of review everyone's roster and get into the flow of both the season and the trash talking, I guess, because there'll probably be a little bit of trash talk.
Oh yeah, or a lot.
But before we review the rosters, there were some moves made after the draft. So I guess let's review those now because there were some pretty big moves. The first move that we're going to talk about is actually probably one of the biggest here. Casey, our new GM, GM of Hughes Your Daddy, picked up John Gibson and Peyton Krebs from the whole shaft here for Nikita Kucherov and John Carlson. That's a huge deal. No picks involved. Goalie on one end, star forward on the other. Good defenseman as well, going with the star forward. I think there's some good value there. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, it's a hole he had to fill, Casey, with his goalies, and Nick being aware that Gibson isn't playing the greatest and always the healthiest, so getting full value out of him with Kucherov and Carlson. 2 players are going to have a big impact, but he's going to ride Vasilevsky and some backups and some split starters, and he'll be fine there. So I think it's a trade that both teams come out winning.
I like to do Nick with Kucherov point duo now. Those two top Tampa guys. Carlson. A lot of people were questioning Carlson involved. Well, I always felt Carlson was kind of the insurance in this deal. Kucherov has a history of injury. So Carlson ensures that he's getting some offensive production from the value of his goalie, right? So I like that Casey filled probably the biggest need on his team since he went into the draft with 0 goalies and came out with a starter. Just how good he'll be, who knows? But he's got a starting goalie.
Yep. And Kucherov's no crappy player either, though. So if you want to go back to last season and what Nick paid to get Gibson, because he's the one who started the pricing of it all last season.
Big
that was that worth,
right?
Kucherov and Carlson. 6th, 7th, and Ellers, or something. There's a name that came with it too.
There was a player in there too.
Yeah, like a solid player though, like early draft player.
I thought this was going to be a trend for a bit. Only a few deals like it. There was a few deals early on where there was no picks involved, right? So, I like the deal. I like a good old fashioned hockey deal. Speaking of which, we'll move on to the next trade here, which was again no picks involved. I messaged Nick out of nowhere, like, hey, right after the Carlson deal went through, like, now you have Carlson, does that mean Chychrun's expendable? Of course he was. He got his offensive defenseman replacement. We went back and forth a bit on who might fit the bill here to make it a good deal. There were specific ones I didn't want to move, so we came up with Jacob Chychrun for Sean Durzi. For those who don't know Durzi, promising young defenseman out of LA, had a pretty good year last year, and they're expecting he was on a big sleeper list, so he's expected to have a good year. But me, being a sucker, I love my Coyotes, and I just think Chychrun's going to get traded. It's going to be a lot better somewhere else than Arizona. But what do you now? The logic behind the deal here, how it went down. What do you think of it?
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a trade to me. Just two later drafted players getting swapped. Just a little bit different of a hole, right? I saw Durzi. He didn't have too much stats, but he looked good in what he had. He didn't have a lot of games played, but you get a guy who's already performing. But they're both day to day right now. So
everyone on my roster is day to day right now.
Not much to say about that one.
That's fair. Another deal. First one with draft picks, and I'm gonna go on a little bit about this one here. So Neil trades Killorn and a 17th to Domo for Captain Crunch. I know he's not Domo anymore. For Zuccarello and an 18th. I know Neil has a hard on for Zuccarello. He was after me all year last year for this guy. I just don't understand the 18th for 17th. Like, what's the point?
Some value.
Is there though? Like, Zuccarello is still the better player. He probably could have got a better pick out of this deal. He probably should have got a better pick out of this deal.
There's a couple I'll say that for too.
What do you think of this one?
Yeah, it's another odd one. Both similar style players. Zuccarello going to put up a little bit more offense, but
less grind.
Yeah. Really, what is the difference though, right? Especially if, let's say, Neil's competing and Captain Crunch is actually selling, which seems like he's doing. The pick could be one pick difference. So
I just feel Killorn's kind of one of those guys who kind of floats around our waiver wire a lot.
Yeah, he does.
Zuccarello is a guy that you'll hold on to because he's going to play on the line with the Kaprizov, and he's going to get points just
he's one dimensional. Like there's a lot of things he lacks in, but he does well in what he does well in.
Yeah. So I feel like a bigger pick probably would have been in order to steal the deal, but that's what it took. That's what it took, right? So
yes.
For what I understand from what Neil was saying was that he was going to offer a higher pick. He offered with no pick first, and then Domo countered with this. And he said, "Yeah." So this is all on Domo. So good on you.
Yeah.
Another trade between Hughes, your daddy, and the whole shaft here. Two names that go together, I guess. But we have Mason McTavish here and Cole Perfetti with a 10th round going to Hughes, your daddy. So Casey acquiring some talented youth. For Hyman, Ekblad, and a 12th. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I feel like Nick came out winning on this. Obviously, he paid a 10th for it, but I think he did well in the trade. A little bit more proven players, right? Hyman had a good first year in Edmonton. Ekblad's always solid. I like it for Nick. He's making a lot of movement early on, right? Well, clearly was happy with his team, so it's good.
I agree with you. Good on Nick. I felt maybe he could have got a little bit of a higher pick out of this, Casey, being that he's given up the two known players. But these are two highly touted prospects, McTavish and Perfetti. So if what's that?
I was gonna say, like, his only example of draft pick movement is the 17th and 18th, Zuccarello. So like it's you got to find your place too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these prospects, if they come out strong as they're supposed to, he can have more trade bait by end of the year, right? I've seen McTavish play, and he's gonna be a superstar. Maybe this is the year he breaks out. Like,
or guys you want to keep. Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. He might start a youth movement, right? Move out all his old pieces and keep those young forwards who might break out. I don't mind the deal. I feel like he probably could have got a little bit of a higher pick here.
Yeah.
That's all. Like I think it was a good move for both. Oh, another trade with Hughes, your daddy. This time with Team Ramrod. No longer Le Champion, just Team Ramrod this year. I moved Aiden Hill and my 8th over to Casey here for Jonathan Quick and the 10th. What do you think of this?
I feel like he could have probably got more for Quick, but an 8th is good too. Like he needs a bigger range coming back. I'd say like more than 2-round difference. That's all. I like the 8th. I just think a little bit higher on the other end.
Yeah, it probably could have been. I probably would have stretched probably to about a 12 on it.
Yeah, that's where I see it as fair.
The thing is, it could be the reverse because Aiden Hill could steal that job in Vegas.
It's true,
right? So he could have just walked away with a 2-pick upgrade, and the goalie's pretty similar, right? So
yeah, but I know Quick hasn't. I had Quick and Peterson there for a little bit, and Quick's not giving that role away anytime soon. Like Peterson's not doing too well.
no,
so I see it doing well for you here this trade. I like it for you.
Quick had a resurgence last year, I thought. So that's kind of what made me go after him. I thought he would be available, and just based on LA, who did really well last year, right? Playoff team. They have a lot of good youth on their team, so they're a team on the rise. And if Quick can hold on for a couple more seasons, so if he gets a good season this year, I'm happy out of an 8.
Exactly, it's one season you need.
That's it.
And you get a full season.
A full season with a third goalie, in case one of them goes down, because we all know what happens. So.
Yeah.
Next trade involves you, and Nick. Why don't you tell me about it?
Yeah, I traded Nylander and Marcus Foligno, to Nick for Tyler Seguin and Patrick Kane.
Ooh. It's a big player to pick up.
Yeah, he. I feel like I got the best player of the trade. He came looking for Nylander, offered Kane. Honestly, it was pretty simple conversation. There wasn't much negotiation needed, and that's what we got. No picks. I think I improved my top 5, and I'm happy with that trade. And Seguin, I think, is a solid player to get back as well. Like he has a lot of potential too.
Now I don't pretend to know what Nick's thinking, because I don't know what he's going to do, right? But I imagine he moved Kane to make room for Kucherov on his keeper list.
Yep.
Probably see a Nylander, who's still a really good player in his own right. Probably go back into the pool at the end of the season is what I'm suspecting, right?
Yeah.
Kane, who knows where he's going to be? But I thought Kane's going to be great for you this year. You got the best player in the deal. He got two really good players, and you got a guy who could return to form. I'm doubtful that he will, but I
We'll
thought
see.
you still got the best player in the trade.
Yeah.
So it's worth giving up or receiving the worst player in the deal as well when there's a potential for upside, right? So hockey deal, no picks. I like the deal for both of you. I like what it brought to your team, and I like the move for Nick picking up two good pieces. So
Yeah, I agree.
oh, here's a big trade. Dirty TVT and the boys hooked up with dudes. Where's my car? To acquire Johnny Gaudreau. So he received Johnny Gaudreau a 15th and an 18th, and he sent Dan a 6th and a 9th. What do you think of this?
I think Travis got had on this one.
I think that's a consensus.
That'd be Dan. That'd be the whole league's happy for you. That's a payment. That's a payment for a guy who is on a brand new team. He showed up for his contract year, and that's about it. Pretty one-dimensional otherwise, and he gave up some big pick differences there. Like, what do you think?
He wanted him, right? Like,
Yeah,
I think
clearly.
Gaudreau's a good player, but that 9th that goes with that 6, like I don't like that. I can see if it was like a goalie, like a starting goalie, you might pay a little extra. But to me, a 6th probably should have got this done.
Yeah.
And even that, I don't value him as high. I think he's a great player, good scorer. But to me, a guy like Gaudreau, and this is probably why I wouldn't get him, but I'd value it at 7th. Like that's the max I'm paying for him. Like
Yep.
if I'm paying a 6, I'm getting like a top guy, and I'm talking the ones that aren't really available and
Yep.
or a goalie, right? So that's my opinion. Like I think Gaudreau's a great player. I think he's going to score a lot. I think he's going to do fine with Line A. But I think he overpaid.
I'd say he overpaid. I don't even think we know he overpaid.
In our opinion, you overpaid Travis, but he's happy with the deal. He doesn't think he could have got anything for a 9th. So, but you never know in this league.
Yep. Like he doesn't have a whole lot to improve because he was pretty stacked going into the draft too, right? So do you really need your picks? If that's the guy you want, then sure.
That was his argument too, is like, what am I going to improve? Like my team's so stacked, but says that every year. And there's holes in his team. And, he's always saying, I'm done trading. I'm not trading. And I get it because trading is fun. It's a lot of fun negotiating. So you get the itch and you just start talking to people. But with him, it's usually his downfall. He just starts trading. He doesn't know when to stop. He hurts himself. Like, another hockey deal here. One I was surprised at. Clefbaum moved Francouz over to Patre to Rumble for Matt Murray. What do you think of this?
I think it's a good trade for both teams. Like we know Pacioretty has the Colorado duo now, right? So that's a little bit more valuable for him. And I think obviously Kyle likes his Leafs, so he got a player in Murray who's going to help him there too. It's a good deal for both teams. I like it.
I don't mind it, but I like it a lot less for Kyle.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Just based on
Colorado is good.
I think Francouz might take that job. So yeah, I don't know. And you got Murray who might not even be the starter at the end of the year. Like the two guys who we don't know, they're wild cards this season, but they're both on good teams. I don't know. I don't mind it, but I don't like it as much for Kyle as I do for Nick.
See, I don't see Francouz taking it. Guy can barely even stay healthy. So
he had good stats last year, and Georgiev did not on a defensive team like the Rangers.
Yeah.
So like I just don't know if if he gets the job done to satisfaction for Colorado.
It'll be interesting.
I think
But it's something to watch.
personally, and I'm not a Colorado guy, but I think it's his job to lose, especially after they used him in the playoffs as well, right? So I think it's his job to lose this season. Probably more of like a 60-40% split. Like,
Well, all 100% goes to him now.
yeah, to Nick, yeah. Who's this one here, dude? Where's my? Then the two guys who are pretty much selling right now. I'll make a little deal. Well, I don't think that's wrong. I don't think Dan's selling. I think he's trying to correct his draft because of the auto draft, right? So he's moving players that he wants out and gathering assets. Who's your daddy picks up Hughes and a 14th for Deneau and a 7th. What do you think of this?
I think it's a good trade for Dan. Like another big margin trade and draft pick, 7-14. I think 7th is a little much to pay for Hughes. I think 8th is probably a good number. But I know he wanted the Hughes duo, right? To get the name Who's Your Daddy. But yeah, he's pretty one-dimensional, so I don't think he's worth the 7th. But
I agree.
It's an improvement, though. And Deneau is not a bad player. He's borderline waiver wire, though. But
I like to move for Dan. I like what he's doing. He's picking up a lot of good draft picks. Worst case, he has him at the draft next year. Best case, he starts filling out his team when people start dropping out, right? His team's still competitive right now, so I think he's in a good spot. So this is funny because Dan didn't realize he could pick players up as much as he wants right now. So he kept sending his trade partners on the waiver wire to pick up a player for him to trade. He didn't want to use his moves. But we have Dude Where's Makar getting Rodriguez and a 7th here from Suck My Ojic for Reinhardt and an 11th. What do you think of this?
Reinhardt was interesting because I knew he was available, but I was kind of iffy on going for him. I think he could have probably got more for him than a 7th, but I think it's a fair trade too. Like it's fair for both sides, in my opinion.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't pay a 7th for Reinhardt. But again, I'm a little stingy on what I want to spend some picks on and whatnot. I'll spend them, but I have to get in something that I feel is fair value. And I think Reinhardt is worth the 7.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't pay a 7 for him. Like, I probably would have placed him more at 8th, but it's a good haul. He got a 7th for Reinhardt. Neil shored up his scoring a bit more after losing his road to free agency. So hurts when he walks away from your team, eh, Neil? Next trade, we have Dirty TBT and the boys at it again here, making a hockey deal with Jagerbomb. So Braden being active early on, and I'm telling you, he's active. He's talking trades, so he's around. He's buzzing around. TBT traded Pod Colson for Marchment. We traded Marchment to get Pod Colson. I don't know if anyone knows Pod Colson, but he's apparently a big deal overseas. So it was they're promised some power play time, so there's some potential there. I personally like Mason Marchment a lot. A young player who has a lot of potential. So I don't know. I think it's a pretty even deal. What do you think?
Yeah, like I didn't know Pod Colson at all, so I looked him up. Man, there's a few people I looked up. I don't know if he was one that he had pretty good stats last season, but he had a pretty small sample size though. Like only like half the season, but he put up decent points. So there's a few people I had to look up I wasn't too familiar with. But yeah, they're clearly both happy with it. No picks involved, just getting a piece they prefer. So good trade. Good job. Good hockey trade.
We got the next deal here. Same two guys. They said, we liked our last trade so much. Let's do it again. TBT picking up Patrick Laine and a 9th for Josh Norris and a 12th. What do you think here?
Yeah, I think it's fair. Like Travis going for the Columbus pair, the Goudreau and Laine, right? and only having to pay a ninth. It's a little bit risky as long as he comes out. But I also think Norris is a good player too. So it's hard. I think Line needs to perform this year for Travis to win this trade.
Well,
Like,
Line,
yesterday was subpar.
he was good last year, Line for when he played, but I think he's going to be better with Gaudreau on the other wing, right? So
yeah,
I like it for both teams. Both teams got a good player, and really 3-round picks difference is not huge. So I like the deal. Next deal here, Team Ramrod went to a familiar face, acquired Jacob Trouba and a ninth with Clefbaum that sent him Esa Lindell and a 7th. What do you think here?
I think it's ridiculous, Kyle, that you have this. Get Trouba for a 7th and only have to give up a 9th or get a 9th back. Like, Trouba's an all-around great D man.
There was a lot of talk in this.
I think it's a bad trade for Kyle. I think you came out really winning on this one.
Well, I think Trouba's a better player. Lindell does grind a lot, not as hard as Trouba though.
No,
but I had bugged him for days, like probably over a week, and he said, "No, I'm not moving Trouba." And then a couple days later, out of nowhere, he messaged me, "What's the pick that would come back?" Oh, here we go. And then we made it happen like real quick after that. So a 7th fit what he was looking for. He likes Lindell a lot. I like Lindell a lot, but I like Trouba a lot more. So to me, it was a no-brainer. Pick up Trouba. Yeah. He has some assets now that he might be able to move for something else.
I think you need to be a little bit more greedy on that pick coming back, though. Ooh.
Yeah, I guess it's sometimes.
You just commented 3 rounds is not a big difference, and then I know it's a little bit lower in the draft, but it's tough.
I asked if a 9th would do, and that was it was agreed upon. So yeah,
good on you.
He probably could have got a little more, right? But that happens in a lot of trades. You probably could have got a little more, and
I think you get a lot more there.
If both people walk away happy, and
yeah. If he's happy, then all 2 of them. Yeah, exactly.
Here's a trade that I thought this was hilarious. So I get a message from you. What do you think of this? Do you think this is worth this? And then before I could even answer, I already had the notification to approve it.
Yeah.
We have.
I give it some thought.
Well, you tell me about this trade here.
I got Crosby in the 11th and 12th round pick for Eriksson Ek, a 7th and an 8th. I don't feel like I have too many holes in my offense. So really upgrading a player to Crosby, who's still performing well, and not having to get up a 6th and not having to go too big on the pick differential the other way. 11th and 12th is still manageable. I was pretty happy to get him.
I don't like that you gave up a 7th and an 8th, but like you just said, the pick differential isn't massive. So you can bite the bullet on something like that. And like you said, Crosby, more reliable than Eriksson Ek. For sure, that's an upgrade. Oh, yeah. You paid a bit to Domo, but again, Domo acquiring picks. I think he's trying to rebuild as well. I don't think he auto drafted the whole draft, but he made a few picks on auto draft, I believe, and just kind of like Carey Price, and his whole team's kind of messed up from it.
Yeah,
good on you.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Last trade to talk about, which is perfect because then we have 2 minutes here to end part 1, and then we'll have to come back in. Domo at it again here, picking up a 9th and Kent Johnson from Team Ramrod for Braden Shen and a 13th. What do you think of this?
I think it's another steal of a deal for you. Only having to get up a 9th to get a guy like Shen, who came back healthy and strong last season, and then he's pretty deep all the way through, except for shorthanded points. But you only have to get up a 9th. It's a big upgrade.
I was happy with it. Got Shen back in the fold. He was really good for Team Ramrod last year. Same with Trouba, bringing back the familiar boys. We made it all the way to the finals. We're gonna go back. But I was happy. I was after him for Shen for a while too, and chats were going nowhere. Then we just kept saying like everyone's available. Like, okay, well, let's make this happen. I just started sending some offers, and we just inched closer and closer. And then just we agreed on this, so I was happy with it.
Yes.
All right.